Hey everybody, my name is Ben from Zone9 Studio. Today will be the first uh, Zone talk. We're talking with our client, Revi, and let's have her introduce herself.
Hi everyone, I'm Revi Mula from Monaco Interiors. I have had this business for 18 years. I've been in the industry a lot longer. I'm a mom with 10 twins, boy, girl, who are at home right now and hiding away so that we can have this interview and it's not too loud and noisy. And they've got our dog Charlie with them because he would probably want to be in this video instead of me. And I work at this company with my husband, Stephen, who heads up one of our construction crews. And our office is in Aurora and right at the corner of Yonge and Wellington in the clock tower. And that's it. That's me.
Very nice to meet you. And what's your biggest challenge under the quarantine these days?
So I guess our challenges, just like everyone else, are twofold. Right now, my kids are home. They've been home for 3 weeks. And the first week was really hard, but once we got into the second week and we started doing some homeschooling, that really helped because they have a routine and they have something to do. And work-wise, it's very hard because normally when we have a home-oriented business, we go see people in their homes. So if we can't do that, it really restricts us, and we can't start any new construction now either. So those are two really big challenges for us in our industry.
And are you on the essential list? Oh,
No, so we're not on, well, I guess construction is on the essentials list, but we're not allowed to start any new construction. So anything that we were doing, we can finish, but we have to be very, very careful. And ongoing, we can't start anything until we get the all clear.
so how do you stay motivated?
Um, it was really hard. The first week I wasn't motivated at all. I felt stuck in my house. I was here with the kids. It was kind of gray and rainy outside. I was pretty miserable. The second week, it started to get better. I miss my assistant and I miss going to my office every day. That was a really big thing for me. But the second week, I had a business meeting with a bunch of people that I have a meeting with every day. We did a Zoom video, and I felt like really motivated. I felt when it was over, like, everybody's in the same boat. We still have to work. We have to get things done. And since then, instead of spending my days in pajamas or a tracksuit, I get dressed. I look like I would if I was going to go to work, and I'm on Zoom meetings and I'm doing all kinds of work right now. And I think the more I do, the more motivated I get.
So can you tell us more about your creative process?
Our creative process is very personal. We spend a lot of time with our clients, whether it's in residential or commercial, getting to know them, especially in residential, getting to know what their hobbies are, what their family is like, what the dynamic is like, what a day looks like in the life of their family, so that when we're designing their spaces, we're designing spaces that are really catered to them and their needs. And so, that's a really deep dive into a lot of personal stuff and budgets and wish lists and all of that.
So can you tell us more about your style? Like, no?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that I don't really have a signature style. I know a lot of designers do. My goal is always to create spaces that my clients are going to love and that they're going to be comfortable with. And I approach it more from a holistic or an overall type of view, where I go in and look at what they have, look at what their budget is, stand back, try to feel the space, and create a space that works for them as opposed to specifically for me. So I would say every home is different. If it was my signature style, I think my website and my Instagram would be a little more boring.
And what's your favorite color?
My favorite color is blue. It's always been my favorite color. I think it reminds me of the ocean. I love to be at the ocean. I've been on this Nova Scotia page on Instagram for the last couple of weeks, just getting some of my juices flowing, and all the photos of the ocean make me so happy, and the sky, and blue is known to be a comforting color, a very comforting color.
And what's your favorite color when it comes to design, like to start off with?
I think I'd start off with white. I always try to start off with a clean slate, sort of the way a painter starts off with a white canvas, and then I build on that. And that doesn't mean that walls are always painted white or furniture is white. It just means we're starting from a blank canvas, and then I build on that. And you can have the most colorful spaces, but you need to start in one place. So that's generally where I try to start, just on a clean slate.
So as a photographer myself, we do a lot of renovation and construction before and after photos. During our work that we've done that, a lot of people prefer to have white, beige, and all a little bit dark. Do you know why the color is always stay in those zones, doesn't get all more like bright, shiny colors?
Bright, shiny. I think people like what's safe. I think in general, people like to do things that are safe. You can't go wrong with white or a light gray or a creamy color. You can't go wrong with those colors. And so when you're painting a whole house, I think sometimes people are afraid to take risk and do something a little more fun. I like to try to push my clients. I like to try to get them to take a little bit more risk, because that's what creates their own space and gives them their unique design. And sometimes just a plain background isn't enough. Really has to be, people really have to look at their homes and what they're trying to accomplish in their homes, and not be too worried about what magazine photos look like.
And can you tell us one of the project that you are most proud of?
Uh, Project that I'm most proud of. We did a renovation on a historical home last year. Uh, I'm going to shout out to Maureen and Craig, because they were amazing clients. And it was a tough construction, definitely, in a very tight space, in a house right downtown Toronto. And we expanded their kitchen, and their old kitchen was falling apart. The floor was angled down. The whole thing was falling off the house because it was an old renovation, or addition. And so we put on double the size. We ripped off their existing addition, put on double the size. And one of the asks that they had at our very first meeting was that we respect the fact that they lived in an old Victorian home. I think the home's about 200 years old. It still has the original doorknob on it, and ringer from back then. And so it was a very different type of design for me, where there was bold color on the walls, and copper sinks, and black countertops, and patterned floors, and it was all very different from what I've been traditionally doing lately. And so for me, as a designer, it was a challenge, but the best part was when it was over, standing in the kitchen with them and hugging and crying and being so happy at what they received. And like, I will never forget that job.
So when you're working on a project like that, like a historic home, would there be a lot of regulations or rules or
Well, it's not a designated historical home. I have worked on historical homes in the past where they have the designation, and there you have to submit certain things to the city in order to make sure that it falls within the right paint colors or the right materials being used, and that you really respect that historical designation. This house does not have a historical designation, so we really could do whatever we wanted. But I think we really did a good job of respecting that house.
so, like, can you tell us that one of your biggest mistakes that turned out to be a blessing?
That turned out to be a blessing. Uh, one of my biggest mistakes that turned out to be a blessing. That's a tough question, Ben. I think I once, early on, allowed a contractor to stay on a job even though he was falling behind. And I should have fired him a lot sooner, but I was a different person and still quite early on in my business. And I learned very quickly that, somebody can be fantastic at what they're doing, but if their life circumstances change, sometimes they're just not able to do a project the way that they should, and replacing them unfortunately becomes necessary. It happened on that big project too. We had to unfortunately let somebody go. It doesn't happen often. 18 years of business, I think it's happened twice, but in the end, the clients are very grateful for you taking control of the situation.
So you were saying that your office recently moved to Aurora, and can you tell us more about that? Like, are you gonna be operating more in the Aurora area, or?
I think, normally we operate sort of everywhere. We have clients in Aurelia all the way down to, the Toronto waterfront and east and west. And we go where the clients take us. And often our clients move. I have a client that moved up to Horseshoe Valley, and we'll be working with her on her new place. So I'm willing to go anywhere. But now that we do have our office in Aurora, I am really enjoying the people there. I'm enjoying the atmosphere and the community. It's very community oriented. And so we really did want to focus more on becoming a part of the Aurora community through some outreach, but unfortunately, we're stuck at home right now. And as soon as we're not, I think
Yes.
we're going to go back to trying to really become uh, a part of that community.
Okay. And how can you help your client during the quarantine time?
I think there's a lot of ways. I think right now people are, kind of getting tired of being at home, maybe looking around their home and seeing things they don't love, getting sick and tired of the color of their walls, or feeling like there's not anything that's moving them forward right now. So there's a few things. The first thing is we have our blog, and we've written some blogs, not even about design, just about stuff to do, when you're at home to help you plan for the future. And we've written things about finding your own space at home, because sometimes you're home with your husband and your two kids and your dog, and you just need a corner to yourself.
Yes.
And also we've transitioned to doing virtual design. So much like you and I are speaking right now on Zoom, we Zoom with our clients or use any other video platform. And it's turned out to be really great because I feel like it gives our clients something to look forward to. And we can plan now during this downtime. And then as soon as we're up and running, we can start going and doing, whether it's ordering furniture or starting a renovation project. We can start to, we're going to be crazy busy when this is over, but as soon as those projects are done and we're able to take on more, people can be in line. And I think it just gives people something to look forward to and someone to communicate with on stuff outside of your own work or outside of your own home.
That's great. Can you tell everybody, a few people that's still watching, how do people reach you?
Well, you can reach me on my website. There's lots of links there. So the website's monacointeriors.ca. And there's our email address, there's our phone number, there's all of our social media accounts, just a click away on that. And we'd love to hear from you, even if it's just to ask design questions right now.
Okay. So last question before we go. What's your Netflix recommendation?
So my Netflix recommendation would be Scandal. I know we're behind the 8 ball on that one. It's over and it's been over for a while, but we started watching it and we've burned through 6 seasons in I think 3 weeks. So it's a really great show. And just before we do leave, Ben, I wanted to thank you very much for being a gracious host and for giving me the opportunity to do this today.
Thank you.